Yo, America, it's time to talk about Noam Chomsky. He's like that super smart professor you had in college, the one who blew your mind. In his book, Failed States, Chomsky drops some serious truth bombs about power, corruption, and how America might not be the good guy all the time. Chomsky isn't afraid to call out anyone, not even the good old US of A. He says that powerful countries like ours can sometimes become failed states themselves. But hold up, what does that even mean? Buckle up, Buttercup, because we're diving deep into the world of Chomsky. Chomsky's main beef is that power, especially when left unchecked, can turn even the most well-intentioned people into, well, jerks. Think about it like this. Give a kid unlimited candy and they'll end up sick. Same goes for power. According to Chomsky, the US government, with its massive military and global influence, can sometimes throw its weight around a little too much. This misuse of power, he argues, isn't just bad for other countries. It also weakens democracy at home. So, what's a failed state, according to Chomsky? It's not just about countries with crumbling infrastructure and constant chaos. Chomsky says a failed state is any state, even a powerful one, that ignores the needs of its people, acts recklessly on the world stage, and undermines the very principles of democracy it claims to uphold. He argues that the US at times has shown some of these failed state tendencies, especially in its foreign policy. Chomsky isn't just pulling this stuff out of thin air. He backs up his arguments with a whole lot of historical examples. Remember the Vietnam War? Chomsky argues that the US intervention in Vietnam was a prime example of a failed state move. The US government, fueled by Cold War paranoia, got involved in a conflict that had nothing to do with protecting American interests or spreading democracy. Section 5, Vietnam, Iraq, and déjà vu. Fast forward a few decades and Chomsky sees the same failed state patterns emerging in the US invasion of Iraq. The Bush administration's claims of weapons of mass destruction turned out to be false, and the war destabilized the entire region. Chomsky argues that both Vietnam and Iraq show how the US, blinded by its own power, can make decisions that cause more harm than good. Section 6, America, the land of the free, really? Chomsky doesn't just point fingers at US foreign policy. He also critiques what he sees as America's failings at home. He argues that the US often prioritizes the needs of the wealthy and powerful over the needs of everyday citizens. Chomsky points to issues like economic inequality, racial injustice, and the erosion of civil liberties as evidence that the US still has a long way to go to live up to its ideals. Section 7, Chomsky's crystal ball. Now, you might be thinking, okay, Chomsky, that's all well and good, but what's the solution? Well, Chomsky argues that the first step is awareness. We need to be critical of our government's actions, both at home and abroad. We need to hold our leaders accountable for their decisions, and we need to demand a more just and equitable society for all. Section 8. So, what now? Chomsky's book isn't a downer, it's a wake-up call. It's a reminder that even the most powerful countries are capable of making grave mistakes. But it's also a call to action. It's up to us, the citizens, to hold our leaders accountable and demand better. Section 9, Chomsky, love him or hate him. Look, you don't have to agree with everything Chomsky says. The dude can be a bit radical, but you can't deny that he makes you think. And in a world where blind patriotism and unquestioning obedience are often seen as virtues, a little critical thinking can go a long way. So go read Failed States and decide for yourself. Just be prepared to have your worldview challenged, maybe even turned upside down. Peace out.